These are the 10 worst roller coasters I've ever ridden. They aren't ranked except for number 1 and 2. There are a few cloned rides on here, but they all take different spots because they are all different. Let's start with the only defunct ride on this list. The boomerang that got removed from Knott's Berry Farm and is now replaced by Hang Time. This was the first boomerang I've ridden, and it was definitely the worst. Really trash. Rough, pure headbanging, not fun at all. Next up on this list is Blue Streak, the oldest still operating coaster at Cedar Point. Some people may hate me for this because some say, nah, it's a good ride. And I thought, yeah, the airtime was decent, it wasn't that short, but it was rough. Horrendously rough. The headache after it was one of the longest and most brutal ones I ever had. This ride disappointed me because some said it's in the top 10 or at least top 15 at Cedar Point. For me, it was the worst at Cedar Point, so don't ride it. El Condor at Valby Holland is the very first Vekoma SLC, and is it bad? Yes. It's about as terrible as the others, not the worst one I've ridden, but it's still rough and absolute garbage. Canada's Wonderland's PTC Woody Mighty Canadian Minebuster, built by PTC, is probably in my top 3 worst ridden roller coasters. It's garbage. It's so rough, the airtime is not even that strong, the helix at the end is pretty intense, but the headache you get is, boy, this ride sucks. Not even worth the credit. The red side of the racer at Kings Island was trash. The blue one was pretty good because it recently got retracked, but the red one didn't before I rode it, so, well, guess what? An old wooden coaster that didn't got retracked recently with PTC trains. I hate PTC trains. It's garbage. The airtime was strong, but that's about the only good thing. The dueling aspect is fine in the first half, but at the end you don't even see it, so bad. Doubtless the ugliest coaster on here is Limit, the Vekoma SLC at Heide Park. This is probably one of the better Vekoma SLCs out of 4 that I've ridden. MP Express is probably the best because it's actually quite smooth. This one is, well, you really can brace. You really have to brace quite strongly, but if you do, you can almost enjoy the ride because SLCs are intense. Not gonna lie, but still, it's an SLC, so. Big Loop by Vekoma and Dragonfire by Aerodynamics are mirrored clones. Big Loop has, turns to the right and Dragonfire to the left. The layouts are the same, the trains and the manufacturers are different. Both have terrible headbanging, a boring, forceless layout, and overall are just trash and give you a headache, so don't ride them. They're garbage. The worst wooden roller coaster I've ever ridden is Shivering Timbers at Michigan's Adventure. This ride really has potential. If it was smooth, with the length and the airtime, it would be a great ride and easily make my top 25. But now it's my second to worst roller coaster I've ever ridden, because if a long ride is rough and has an actual decent pacing, it's going to be horrible. And that's what this ride is, horrible. Because it shakes you around like crazy, it's so rough. And even though it wouldn't, it felt like it would derail each second. I never had that before. But by far, the worst roller coaster I've ever ridden is Flight Deck, the Vekoma SLC at Canada's Wonderland. I've heard bad things about this, but it, exceeded those negative expectations by a lot. I've never had so much headbanging ever on a ride, and it wasn't even the headbanging, my ears. I had glasses on, so my ears were destroyed, and my shoulders were destroyed too. Horrible to think that I have over 40 of those in operation. And here are the POV credits, or the off-ride credits of this video. And thanks for watching. Bye.